I was scrolling through Facebook on a Tuesday afternoon, taking a break from my warehouse shift, when my world shattered into a million pieces. There, posted by my cousin Piper 3 weeks ago, were photos of a funeral. My mother's funeral. Black dresses, tears, casket flowers, everything. My hands started shaking so bad I nearly dropped my phone on the concrete floor. Rest in peace, Auntie Gloria. You raised us right, the caption read. 73 comments. Dozens of shares. Everyone knew. Everyone except me, Elliot, her only son. I stared at the date stamp, November 2nd. Today was November 23rd, 21 days. My mama had been in the ground for 21 days and nobody thought to pick up a phone. I zoomed in on each photo with trembling fingers, searching for answers in pixels. There was my sister Lydia in the front row, dabbing her eyes with tissue. My uncle Raymond giving the eulogy. Even distant relatives I barely recognized had shown up. But not me. I wasn't there because I didn't know. The warehouse around me blurred as tears filled my eyes. My supervisor, Mike, walked past and asked if I was good. Yeah, man. Just need a minute, I managed to say, my voice cracking. I wasn't good. Nothing would ever be good again. 3 months earlier, Mama and I had our last real conversation on the phone. She'd called me at 9 p.m., which was unusual because she knew I worked early mornings. Baby, I need to tell you something, she'd started, her voice tired. I was exhausted from a double shift and barely listening. Elliot, your sister been saying things about you. Says you borrowed money from her and never paid it back. My jaw clenched. That's a lie, Mama. Lydia's the one who owes me $200 from last Christmas. There was a long pause, then Mama sighed that deep sigh she did when she was disappointed. I don't know what's gotten into you two. You all used to be so close. We talked for maybe 10 more minutes before I said I needed sleep. I love you, baby. Don't let this family drift apart, she'd whispered. Love you too, Mama. I'll call you this weekend. I never did. Work got busy, life got hectic, and that weekend turned into weeks. Then she was gone, and I didn't even know. Now, sitting in my truck in the warehouse parking lot, that conversation played on repeat. The guilt felt like concrete filling my chest, making it hard to breathe. My fingers dialed Lydia's number before my brain caught up. It rang 4 times before she answered. What? Her voice was flat, cold. What the hell, Lydia? Mama's dead? She's been dead for 3 weeks and you didn't tell me. I shouted into the phone, not caring who heard me in the parking lot. Silence. Then, oh, you found out. Just like that. No emotion, no explanation. Oh, I found out? That's all you got to say? Our mother died. Elliot, don't act like you cared. When's the last time you even visited her? When's the last time you sent her money for her medications? Her words were venom, each one designed to cut. I visited her 2 months ago. I sent her $300 in September. My voice cracked. What happened to her? How did she die? Heart attack. October 30th. She went peacefully in her sleep, if you actually care. Lydia's tone suggested she doubted I did. The funeral was beautiful. Reverend Russell gave a wonderful service. Everyone came. Well, everyone who mattered. That last part landed like a punch. Why didn't you call me? Because you made your choice, Elliot. You chose your little warehouse job and your new friends over family. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Chose my job? Lydia, I work to survive. What choice? What are you even talking about? She laughed, bitter and harsh. Don't play stupid. You know exactly what you did. Mama's birthday last year? You promised to come and didn't show. Easter. Same thing. You were too busy, always too busy. My mind raced back. Last year's birthday, my car had broken down 2 hours before I was supposed to leave. I'd called Mama, explained, sent flowers. Easter, I'd been scheduled for a mandatory shift. I'd lost that job 3 weeks later when the plant closed. I had reasons. I explained all that. Excuses, Elliot. All you ever had was excuses. And then you had the nerve to tell Mama that I was stealing from her medication fund. My blood ran cold. I never said that. Never. Uncle Raymond heard you. On speakerphone. Said you were worried I was taking advantage of her. The world tilted. I had mentioned to Mama once that I was concerned about her finances, asked if she needed help managing bills. Someone had twisted that into something ugly. Lydia, that's not what happened. Someone's lying to you. The only liar here is you, Elliot. Mama spent her last months thinking her son hated the family. I drove straight to Mama's house. Well, what used to be Mama's house. It was a 40-minute drive from the warehouse to the old neighborhood in West Memphis. The small blue house with white shutters looked the same, but different. Emptier somehow, even from the outside. I parked and walked to the door. My key didn't work. They'd changed the locks. I knocked hard, anger and grief mixing into something explosive in my chest. Lydia opened the door, her face twisted in disgust. What do you want? I want to see Mama's things. I want to know what happened. I deserve that much. She crossed her arms, blocking the doorway. You deserve nothing. This is my house now. Mama left everything to me. Everything? What about her will? We're supposed to split. There is no split, Elliot. She updated her will 6 months ago. I have it right here. Lydia pulled out a folded document from her pocket like she'd been waiting for this moment. The will was dated April 15th. In it, Mama left the house, her car, her savings, everything, to Lydia Bennett. My name appeared once. To my son Elliot, I leave my regrets and prayers that he finds his way back to family. I read it 3 times. This wasn't Mama's handwriting on the signature. It was close, but not right. The loops were wrong. I stumbled away from that house like a drunk man, everything spinning. My phone rang. Piper, the cousin who'd posted the funeral photos. Elliot? Oh my God, Elliot, I just saw you commented on my post. I'm so sorry, I thought you knew. I swear I thought you knew. Her voice was frantic, genuine. Piper, what happened? Why didn't anyone tell me? I sat in my truck, gripping the steering wheel. Lydia said, she said you and Gloria had a falling out. That you told her not to contact you anymore. She said you'd moved out of state and changed your number. My vision went red. I live in the same apartment I've had for 3 years. Same number since 2018. She's lying. Piper went quiet. Then, Elliot, there's something you should know. Your Uncle Raymond and Lydia have been real close lately. Too close. I saw them at the bank together a week before Gloria died, going into the safe deposit boxes. What are you saying? I'm saying Gloria had $23,000 in savings bonds. Money she'd been saving since you and Lydia were babies. She told me at Easter she was splitting it between you both. Now Lydia's driving a brand new Lexus and Raymond just bought a boat. The pieces started falling into place, ugly and deliberate. I went to St. Francis Hospital the next morning, where Mama had been taken. The receptionist, an older black woman named Dorothy, recognized me immediately. Elliot? Baby, I'm so sorry about your mother. She was such a sweet lady. Her genuine sympathy almost broke me. Thank you, Ms. Dorothy. I need to see her records. I'm her son, I have the right. Dorothy's expression shifted, confused. Honey, your sister already got copies of everything. She said she was the only next of kin. She lied. Can I see the records from October 30th? Please. Something in my voice must have convinced her. She typed quietly, then frowned at her screen. This is strange. Your mother was admitted at 6:47 a.m. on October 30th. Emergency contact called at 6:52 a.m. She looked up at me. That was your sister Lydia. But there's another contact listed here too. You, Elliot Bennett. Phone number ending in 7834. That's my number. We never called it. There's no notation of a second call attempted. My hands clenched into fists. So Lydia was called, and she deliberately didn't tell me. It gets stranger, baby. Your mother was stable when she arrived. Talking, alert. The heart attack wasn't severe, but she died at 11:23 p.m. that same night. Sudden cardiac arrest. Dorothy leaned closer. The attending physician noted it was unexpected given her earlier condition. I hired a lawyer with money I didn't have, putting $800 on a credit card for a consultation with attorney James Patterson. He was a sharp-dressed man in his 50s who'd handled estate cases for 30 years. I brought everything: the suspicious will, the hospital records, Piper's testimony about the bank visits. Patterson read through it all with increasing interest. Mr. Bennett, this will is problematic. The signature looks traced, not original. And the witness signatures, he pointed, these are dated April 15th, but the notary stamp says April 18th. That's grounds for investigation right there. Can we prove it's fake? We can try. But here's what concerns me more. He pulled out the hospital records. Your mother was coherent until approximately 8 p.m. Visitor's log shows your sister Lydia arrived at 7:15 p.m. and left at 11:45 p.m. She was there when Mama died. Yes. And according to this toxicology panel done during the autopsy, did you know there was an autopsy? My heart stopped. No. Nobody told me anything. Standard procedure for unexpected deaths. The tox screen showed elevated levels of potassium. Dangerously elevated. Your mother wasn't on potassium supplements. Patterson leaned back in his chair. I'm not making accusations, but this warrants investigation. Detective Lisa Morrison sat across from me at the police precinct, her dark eyes sharp and assessing. I'd brought everything to her: the will, the hospital records, Patterson's analysis, Piper's statement about the missing money. She listened without interrupting, taking notes in a small black notebook. Mr. Bennett, these are serious allegations. You understand that? I understand my mother is dead and my sister stole my inheritance and might have. I couldn't say it. Couldn't make it real. Might have hastened her death, Morrison finished. I'm going to be straight with you. This case is circumstantial. The elevated potassium could be explained by kidney function. The will might hold up despite the irregularities, and family disputes over money are common. My stomach sank. But, she continued, the fact that you weren't notified of your mother's death despite being listed as emergency contact, combined with the financial motive, gives me enough to ask questions. She stood up. I'm going to interview your sister and uncle. Don't contact them. Don't threaten them. Let me do my job. Can you do that? Yes, Good. And Mr. Bennett? Get a therapist. Win or lose this investigation, you're going to need help processing what your family did to you. It took Detective Morrison 2 weeks, but she cracked Uncle Raymond. He came to my apartment unannounced on a Thursday night, looking 20 years older than his 62 years. I almost didn't let him in. Elliot, please. I need to talk to you. His voice shook. Against my better judgment, I opened the door. He sat on my worn couch and put his face in his hands. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Your sister, she called me that morning, said Gloria was in the hospital. Said we needed to protect the family assets. Family assets. That's what you call stealing from me. I didn't know she was going to cut you out completely. She said Gloria wanted her to have the house, that you didn't care about family anymore. I believed her. He looked up, tears in his eyes. But the will, Elliot. The will is fake. I helped her forge it. We traced Gloria's signature from an old birthday card. The notary was Lydia's friend from church who owed her a favor. My whole body went cold. And the money. Mama's savings bonds. Lydia cashed them 2 days after the funeral. Split it with me 60-40. I got 9,000. I'm so sorry, Elliot. I'm so goddamn sorry. Where's my $13,000, Raymond? Spent. Most of it. The boat, some debts, helped my daughter with her car. I called Lydia with Detective Morrison's permission, but without her knowledge. She answered on the third ring. Elliot, I told you not to. Raymond told me everything. Silence. Beautiful, damning silence. He told me about the will you forged. About Mama's savings bonds you stole. About how you kept me away from her funeral on purpose. I could hear her breathing, fast and panicked. He's lying. He's a drunk and he's lying to save himself. Save himself from what, Lydia? From what you did. My voice was steel now, all the hurt transforming into something harder. You kept me from saying goodbye to our mother. You stole my inheritance. You made Mama think I abandoned her. For what? A Lexus. A house. Was it worth it? You don't understand. I took care of her for years while you worked your little dead-end jobs. I earned that money. I earned that house. Her voice rose to a shriek. She was my mother. I had the right to know she was dying. I had the right to be at her funeral. You had the right to nothing. You left. You chose your life over us. I visited her. I called her. You poisoned her against me. You made her last months miserable with your lies. She asked about you, you know. Even in the hospital, hooked up to machines, she asked if you'd called. I told her no. I told her you didn't care enough to check on her. The criminal case against Lydia took 8 months to win through the system. She was charged with forgery, theft by deception, and interference with a burial notification, a misdemeanor that carried symbolic weight. Raymond took a plea deal, testifying against her in exchange for probation. I sat in that courtroom every single day, watching my sister try to paint herself as the victim. Her lawyer argued that I'd been an absent son, that Lydia had shouldered the burden of care, that the will reflected Gloria's true wishes even if the execution was flawed. But the prosecution had Raymond's testimony. They had the bank records showing the timing of the savings bonds being cashed. They had the hospital's admission that I was never contacted despite being listed. Most damning, they had a recording. Mama's phone records showed a voicemail I'd left her 2 weeks before she died. Hey Mama, it's Elliot. Just calling to check on you. I got paid Friday. Gonna send you some money for your medications. Love you. Call me back when you can. The jury heard Mama's voice on her outgoing message, heard my voice full of love and concern. Lydia's lawyer had claimed I'd abandoned her. The evidence said otherwise. After 4 days of deliberation, they found Lydia guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced her to 3 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 18 months. I visit Mama's grave every Sunday now. I bought a proper headstone with money from the civil settlement. Lydia was ordered to pay back the 13,000 plus damages. It's a beautiful black granite stone with gold lettering, Gloria Bennett. Beloved Mother. 1962 to 2024. Her love remains. I bring fresh flowers and talk to her for an hour, telling her about my week, about the new supervisor position I got at the warehouse, about the community college classes I started taking. I forgive them, Mama, I told her last Sunday, meaning it for the first time. Not for them, for me. Carrying this hate was killing me just like it killed our family. Detective Morrison was right about therapy. Dr. Michelle Jenkins helped me process the betrayal, the grief, the crushing guilt of not being there. She helped me understand that Lydia's actions weren't about me. They were about her own brokenness, her jealousy, her greed. I'm dating now, a woman named Tasha who works at the library. She knows my whole story and loves me anyway. That feels like a miracle some days. If you believe family should never betray each other over money, hit that subscribe button. Only manipulators and toxic people won't. Comment family means honesty if you can't stand people like Lydia who destroy trust for greed. The truth is, I lost my mother twice, once to death, and once to knowing her final months were poisoned by lies. But I found myself in the process. Found my strength, my voice, my worth. And that's something Lydia can never take from me.